The Wally Show podcast is our daily radio show heard live through the WayFM app each morning and hosted by Wally, Gavin, and me, Betty Rock. For more fun, be sure to connect with us at wayfm.com/Wally.
The Wally Show podcast is brought to you by Colorado Christian University Online, where you can earn a degree online just like Betty Rock. You can learn more at ccu.edu/Wally.
Uplifting Away FM, this is the Wally Show, and every day around the same time, we like to get you caught up with what is going on. Betty Rock, what you got?
Okay, so if you were to look up the word business casual in the dictionary and you wanted a definition, well, the definition would say a style of dressing for white-collar employees that is less formal than business attire. To me, that just sounds pretty vague. So I wanted something that was a little bit more like understandable.
Because you've never worked in an office setting where you have to dress up. I mean, you wear camo hats, do your makeup at work, sit with a heating blanket wrapped around you, and Piggly Wiggly shirts.
Trust me, it does not go beyond my thankfulness that I work in an environment like this, because if I had to dress up every single day, it would be torture.
She's like, I thought business casual meant shoes.
So here is a more clear definition. If it's something that you would mow your lawn or go to the beach in, that's not business casual.
100%.
Okay, but if it's something you would wear on a first date, then yes, that is considered business casual.
This seems really obvious to me, but maybe I've just been in the professional world for a long time. Although I've been in radio the vast majority of my career,
right?
And but I still dress up every day. So.
Yeah, you do. For fashion.
That's it.
Okay, so some of the top things that we are Googling to see, are they considered business casual? I want to get your 2 cents, Wally. You can give me a yes or no.
Okay.
Sweats.
No, thumbs down. Instant no. Even the sweats that look like jeans, instant no.
Hoodies.
Depends on your company. Like some companies, if you're a tech company, like your CEO probably wears a hoodie. But no, I would say that is not business casual. That's casual Friday. Totally different.
Oh, okay.
Totally different.
Flannel shirts.
No, no, not for business casual.
Shorts.
If they're nice and they're kind of tapered and you wear them with a button-up shirt.
And cheetah print.
Never. Like,
oh my
never.
Word.
Cheetah print for guys should always be off the table.
Oh, for sure.
1 billion %.
Yeah.
Not. The only cheetah print you should be wearing is if you actually were in Africa and you shot a cheetah. Then you could wear it.
Well, that's interesting that you say that. So I found this story about this company that they said on week 1 they offered free for all attire on Fridays. That's where they went wrong.
Yeah.
That's where they went wrong, using words free for all, okay? By week 3, they had to put out an email saying they were banning spandex and moose hide loafers.
Yeah.
Who's wearing moose hide loafers and spandex?
And why was moose hide loafer the biggest problem? You had some like vegan that was all offended.
Okay, so by week 8, there were a 14-member task force creating a 30-page manual titled Relaxing Dress Without Relaxing Company Standards. And by week 20, the whole thing was axed.
You have to. That's the thing. People cannot monitor themselves. That's why we have rules and laws. Because if you leave it up to people, it's free-for-all Friday anarchy.
I have no idea what I'm doing, but I know I'm doing it really, really well.
Uplifting Way FM, this is the Wally Show. We do a segment on the show called Amateur First Responder, where Betty will give me a scenario of what a real, in quotes, first responder did and how I would have handled it differently as an amateur first responder, because I'm a card-carrying member of a very elite team of amateur first responders who have no training, but we just get involved. So the other day, I'm really sad about this. I had a real first responder honk at me and I got in the way of a situation, of an emergency situation.
Classic amateur first responder move.
I did not mean to. Total accident.
What happened?
So I'm at a light. My light turns green. I start to go through the intersection and then out of nowhere, honk, honk, sirens. It's a fire truck. Some of my favorite people in the world. I've always wanted to be a fireman. And so I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay, brothers, I'm here with you. And so they start honking and like, cause they were just right there all of a sudden. So I didn't even go all the way through the intersection. What I did was I pulled real sharply at the other cars that were waiting to turn the opposite direction, and I just blocked them in so that it left that whole lane open for the actual first responder. Like, I gave him the whole road. Like, I literally was like, the guy that like saw me pulling like head on to him, like freaked out.
Well,
I'm like,
yeah.
But I'm like, it's okay. I'm an amateur first responder. I know what I'm doing. So I stopped. So in essence, I'm not even in the intersection anymore. I'm just kind of blocking the other cars that need to go when their light turns. But it's not a big deal because the first responder has the entire right side of the road that's all his, wide open. He can go. So I'm sitting there looking at him. He's looking at me. We make ocular eye contact. And he honks like for me to move. I'm like, I'm not in your way. I have given you the entire road. You should just be going. And so he's like, honk, honk. I'm like, and I look at him, I just wait there. I'm like, what, me? Like, it's you go, me go. It's like being in a four-way stop sign and no one knows when to go.
How awkward.
Yeah. And so I'm like, okay. So then I drive. Then I get into the lane and I go and then I pull right over. And then he then goes through the intersection. He had it made. I wasn't even I was blocking other people to save him.
Wow.
Yeah.
It sounds like you made a simple situation a lot worse.
Apparently I did.
So, because not only are you being an inconvenience for the actual first responder, but now you're being an inconvenience for the general public.
I don't care about the general public. This was an emergency situation. But what I'm really frustrated by is the first responder honked at me and did not go.
Wonder why?
I don't know. So here's what I hate to do this, but I need to call on one of my brethren in the first responder world. Like, what should I have done? I was already in the intersection. Should I have just gone through? Like, I thought I did the right thing, but apparently I didn't because he waited for me to move even though I was not in his way.
That is awkward.
Yeah, and then I passed him. He was going too slow. No, I'm just kidding. So what should I have done? Maybe you've been in that situation before and you know what to do better than me. 855-33-WAY-FM. That's 855-33-WAY-FM. I'd love to get your thoughts on this right now, especially if you're I keep saying amateur first responder, an actual first responder. And so I'm not sure what I should have done.
I think that you should have gotten behind him and followed him all the way, and then you could have been a part of whatever the emergency was.
That's a great idea.
You are a volunteer fireman.
That's right. I am a unofficial volunteer fireman. That's true.
Lenora, I know you're joking, but I don't think Wally knows you're joking.
That is a really good idea.
I think he thinks you're serious, that's what scares me.
I should have just followed him to get some closure. Like maybe some clarity. Like when we roll up on the scene, I should have said, "Hey, I know you're busy. Hang on one second. I just need to know."
Give me just a minute of your time, sir.
It's like that girlfriend that needs to define the relationship. I just need some clarity, sir, on what is the problem here.
Wow.
I have no idea what I'm doing, but I know I'm doing it really, really well.
I am a card-carrying amateur first responder, so imagine my dismay when I...
Amateur.
I know, that's what I said. And when I encountered an actual first responder, and we had like a miscommunication, I'll say. I inadvertently was in the intersection as a fire truck was trying to go through the intersection, and instead of continuing through the intersection and then pulling over, I just pulled over in the intersection next to the other cars that were going the opposite direction, giving him the full roadway. He had more room than he needed. He could have driven 3 fire trucks through there, but he chose to stop and then honk at me and then like wave me to go on for whatever reason. And I'm like waving him and like, there are people dying, sir. Just go. Like I'm trying to help you. And so we've been kind of talking about this, and I appreciate you letting me work through this. We've asked people's opinion on this, but Betty Rock, her best friend is ChatGPT now.
Call him Chatty.
Yeah, so you put this into Chatty.
Yeah, so, and I want to thank you for drawing a diagram as well to help me understand where you're coming from,
and
where
now
your
you see
frustration is. Yes, it helped me type out the situation to ChatGPT and see what it said.
So what was its response?
Its response was, this is all about predictability and safety.
Okay.
You're seeing it as He could have just gone and been done with it.
Yeah.
But the fireman is seeing it as that car is unpredictable. Let's make it predictable by clearing it before I enter the chaos.
Interesting.
So it says that you should have just completed your left turn and cleared the intersection.
That's what normal people would have done, yes. That's what normal, non-trained amateur first responders would have done.
Because the fireman doesn't know if you're just freezing.
Yeah.
Are you going to cause more havoc in this intersection because you stopped in the middle of it?
Right.
Are you gonna all of a sudden now just gas it? Or are you gonna try and reverse?
Because here's the thing.
He doesn't know what you're gonna do.
And that makes more sense now. ChatGPT is doing a really good job here because I'm not wearing my uniform, obviously.
He doesn't know you're an amateur first
Exactly.
responder.
So then the unpredictability comes into play. Or what if I'm off duty and I'm just in civilian clothes, like I always am? He's not going to see that. So I think
you're so humble.
The course of action is completely clear. It's never been so clear in my life. I need to paint my Tacoma red and put a light on the top. Now he will know that this is one of us, kind of, and he will know that I pose no threat and he can go through the intersection safely.
You have come up with some really dumb ideas, but this one could possibly be the dumbest.
Well, thank you. Uplifting Way FM. I feel like I could be calm. This is the Wally Show. There's nothing that feels quite as good as the Bob Ross theme.
There's something about it. I'm telling you, it just puts you at ease. And I recently wrote a blog about Bob and grief.
I love the title.
Yes, it's called Happy Little Grief.
That's so good.
Wally actually came up with that one. And
I did?
Yeah, I thought.
Oh, that's right.
good.
That's not why I was saying it was so good, because I just think it works.
Sure. And you might be wondering, well, how does grief and Bob Ross go together? I'm glad you asked. Well, I was finding out that after turning 40 and not really hitting those milestones that a typical 40-year-old should be hitting, like getting married and having your own family, I was experiencing grief. And I always thought grief was something that was related to when you lose a loved one. But I found out that actually grief can be when you are grieving the mental image of what you thought your life was going to turn out to be. And so I wrote this whole blog and I worked through the 7 stages of grief, because that's what psychology says. There are 7 stages. And I worked through each and every one. And at the end, I try and sum it up by helping you see that if we can let that picture go, there is a way to grow in it and become stronger through it. And I also like how I said at the end, you can paint those happy little trees even if your forest looks different than you planned.
Oh, I do like that.
Right?
Very nice. That's
But
very true.
In each stage of grief, I channel a little bit of Bob Ross, and I'm pretty proud of it. And I know that I can't.
over here.
Right, because he says we don't make any
mistakes.
We make only happy little accidents. And so I think we can learn a lot. And so anyways, if that might be something that resonates with you, maybe you didn't even realize that you could be grieving something that you've lost. Maybe this could resonate with you. If you text the word picture to 91979, I will send you a link so you can read it, maybe share it with someone that could be going through something in the same genre. Text the word picture to 91979 and I will send you that link. Hey, Wally, do you have a minute?
Sorry, busy.
I have cake.
Oh, what do you need?
Yeah, see, that's a perfect example of even though we are busy, we make time for what's important.
Yeah, because going back to school as an adult, you're busy with work, you've got family, but if you want to make your education a priority, trust me, you can do it. Betty did.
Like when I first started, I was super intimidated because it had been a while since I've been in school. But I mean, from the very first conversation, I felt like they were setting me up for success.
Yeah, and going back to school with CCU's flexible online courses makes it so convenient.
Yeah, and what's so cool is every class has a biblical worldview perspective. And so you think, well, how can they turn math into a biblical worldview? They find a way.
Yeah, and that was one of my jobs when I was teaching at CCU, was integrating not just the facts and figures of things, but how your faith plays into what you're going to do.
CCU offers Christ-centered higher education, transforming students to impact the world with grace and truth.
Cultivate your mind without compromising your heart. Get started today at online.ccu.edu. Colorado Christian University is a nonprofit impact partner.
Finding the good in the bad. It's News-ish on The Wally Show.
I was just saying to my wife like 2 days ago how good it feels that we've kind of gotten a little reprieve from what seemed like a rash of random mass shootings and school shootings. And then this happened. You wake up and you hear the news that there were 2 children that were senselessly killed and 17 others injured at a school shooting. And there are a lot of social elements to this and a lot of things to discuss and break out. But I'm going to do that in our podcast, which you can get you for free by texting letters TWS to 91979. Because I don't think this is the place for that right now here as you're headed to school and stuff with your kids and everything. But I do think this is important. Like, the shooter wrote a letter apologizing to his parents for how he turned out. And this isn't like sympathetic for them or whatever, overwhelmed by this world. But to hurt others in your pain is inexcusable. Mm-hmm. That's broken. That's beyond broken, you know? And so I wanted to focus, though, on what experts are saying about discussing these types of situations with your kids. And they say, well, be proactive. Don't wait and pretend everything is okay. If you think they're going to hear about this at school, the advice is take it head on and maybe start with a question like, hey, have you heard about this? And then you can gauge where they're at. Yeah, I did, but I don't really know anything. Oh, okay. And then it tells you how much you probably do or do not need to share. But if they're like, oh my gosh, yeah, and then they start telling you what they have heard, then you can also provide perspective, and sometimes things get blown out of perspective and proportion, and they might not have all the facts. And so that's a good thing about taking it head on. And the other big thing they say is to be honest. You know, you don't have to do a lot of detail, but most likely kids, when they want to discuss this stuff, they're worried about their own safety. And so, you know, you have to look at them and talk about how maybe the things in this scenario were different from the way that in the life that you live here, and that focus on the things that are in place to protect them currently, you know? And so that's like the psychological things that a psychologist says to talk about. But from a faith perspective, I started thinking about this. I'm like, what do you say? You know, because the reality is we're not all physically protected from harm. That's a truth. You know, I wish it wasn't that case as believers, but that's a truth that we live in. And so I think for me, if I was discussing this with my child right now, as a kid, I'd say there are bad people who do bad things, but in these times where it seems like God is absent, he's not. The Bible says in Psalms 34:18 that God is near to the brokenhearted, and he saves those who are crushed in spirit. And these families, you know, I would be like, hey, you can agree their spirits are probably pretty crushed right now, but God is there for them. And why don't we take a minute, even though we don't know them, to pray for them, that they'll see and feel God's presence in their lives in this horrible time. You know, and we can't always stop bad things, but we can always shine God's light. You know, every hug, every kind word, every kid that's disenfranchised at school that you befriend and don't ostracize or make fun of is preventative in the future of those kids becoming broken adults. And so while it's the long game, and while you think that it's, you know, how does this help? You being proactive and being kind to other kids that maybe are on that fringe might be something that changes the course of decisions they would make later on. And that's how we can be proactive in the middle of a situation that really makes no sense. So there you go. Maybe if you're having to have that discussion today with your kids, maybe that can help you out a little bit. Uplifting Way FM, this is The Wally Show. I've gotten to meet one of Betty Rock's closest friends recently, and it's ChatGPT. She is like one of the only people I know that has a paid account that pays monthly for this friend to be in her life.
You make it sound sad.
I do, yes, I do, and it is, but...
and pathetic.
No, it's not. But like, you use it for work and everything, but then you actually recently used it for something in your personal life that you said really was great.
Yeah, I am using it to grow closer to God, and you might be thinking, what? How?
Yeah.
Well, I know that I need to do better at creating a nightly rhythm when it comes to doing my devotionals, getting into the Word, praying, things like that. But I just don't know where to begin. And maybe it's that side of me that wants to do it right or be perfect, or I just need some barometers. I need something to go by. So that's what I did. I went to Chatty, that's what I call him, and I said, hey, just lay out for me a curriculum, per se, of what I could do and what I should do to help me grow closer to God, okay? And it laid it out for me, and it's fantastic.
Stop watching crime shows and open your Bible.
Okay.
Done.
We skipped that part, okay? And I was like, that seems more like a maybe, I don't know. Okay, so step 1 was prepare the space. And it said this will take about 2 to 3 minutes, but it's about taking some deep breaths, lighting a candle, maybe starting some worship music, praying, saying, hey, God, I'm here. I want to meet with you tonight. Then starting with scripture, and that takes about 10 to 15 minutes. Mainly it just says like start with the Psalms and read a chapter, and then read it. You read it first just to absorb it, but then second, underline or circle any words or phrases that stand out to you. Then at the end, you ask 3 questions in your journal, mainly about what does this say about God's character? What does this say about my heart? How can I respond tomorrow? I mean, and then it goes into journaling, prayer, closing, things like that. But it was just something that I have now started going by, the layout, and it has really helped me.
That's good. See, that's the thing. Like, technology can be there for good or bad.
Oh,
you know,
like anything.
Like social media can be good or bad.
Yeah.
It depends on what you put into it.
Right.
It's just a thing. Same with ChatGPT. That's interesting. That's really interesting. So here's what I'd like for us to discuss is, have you used ChatGPT or maybe technology to improve your spiritual life? I'm real curious because I would have never thought of using ChatGPT for this. And I'm kind of surprised because Betty usually uses it to make embarrassing photos of me. Make him an aging rock star with balding head. And it's like, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, you know what? Chatty's there for everything.
Yeah,
anything I'm feeling at the time.
All right, so 855-33-WAY-FM. That's 855-33-WAY-FM. Have you used ChatGPT or some sort of technology to actually improve your spiritual life? I'd love to hear your thoughts because somebody else might need to hear exactly what you've done to get them going down that path as well. So 855-33-WAY-FM. What is something you've used technology-wise or maybe ChatGPT to improve your spiritual life?
I have definitely used ChatGPT to improve my spiritual life on multiple occasions. I had a situation with someone that I care about deeply. We both hurt each other. And I asked ChatGPT, what does the Bible say about this situation? And it just helped, reminded me, brought some scriptures up, reminded me how I'm supposed to view it. I used it this morning, actually, when I was doing a Bible study on Romans and didn't quite understand, kind of used it as a concordance. What does the Bible mean by this word?
You know what will be interesting as you talk about this? I'm a big context person because the context that surrounded the stories in the Bible makes them come to life and makes them even more powerful because they were written in a different time. And some things don't make a ton of sense to us today, but when you hear why it was done like that. So that would be interesting, is to go to ChatGPT and say, what was the context of the time that this verse was written and the spiritual context? And I'd love to see if that's something that could bring clarity or a depth in study to me as well. That's a great idea. I love that. Thank you.
Awesome.
Have you ever used ChatGPT or some sort of technology to improve your faith, Sean?
Every single day. I started using ChatGPT probably about 6 months ago to do my Bible studies. And the thing with ChatGPT, it's all about the prompts that you give it, right? So when I first started using it, I told my ChatGPT to act as an expert theologian and Bible teacher, and also an expert in both Greek and Hebrew. And Wally, the prompts that I started getting back from ChatGPT on this Bible study, they've literally changed my life. My spiritual life has deepened significantly. And I'm a former pastor too. And again, this is all about understanding the original language of the Bible, right? So in the New Testament, we all know the story of the prodigal son. It's probably one of the most popular Bible stories. But what most people don't know is in that culture of Jesus' day, when a prodigal would choose to try to return to the community that they were an outcast from, they had this practice where the townspeople would come out with clay pots and they would run out to meet the prodigal, and they would greet them with these clay pots, and they would smash the clay pots on the ground, and they would speak this saying out. I think it was Kazuza or something like that, and it basically meant that you are an outcast and you are not allowed back in this community. So when Jesus told us the story of the prodigal son, and he was telling us about the father that was running to meet the son, for so many years I always just assumed the father was running to meet the son because he was happy to see the son. But what the father was actually doing is he was outrunning the shame that was running to meet the son, and he had to outrun all these townspeople that were about to shame him and tell him that he wasn't welcome back in the community. So the father was literally outrunning the shame. It's oh my God, that was so life-changing for me.
See, that is cool. Again, I've always said that the context around the stories gives them a much deeper meaning when you know things like that. Yeah, so if ChatGPT can draw us closer in our faith to God like that, I love that. That's a great example, Sean. Thanks for being on.
Let's not overthink this.
Don't think too hard about it.
It's news-ish on The Wally Show.
We've all heard the term gold digger, but this bride is not that. She's a diamond digger. Quite literally, there's a lady that decided that she wanted to dig for her diamond at Crater of the Diamonds State Park in Arkansas.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, I know. You should look into it. You get yourself something nice.
Yeah, treat myself.
Treat myself. Yeah, so apparently it's the only public site in the world where visitors can search for diamonds and they get to keep anything they find, which is crazy. Since 1972, it's yielded more than 35,000 diamonds.
What?
Including a record-breaking 40-carat diamond called Uncle Sam. Yeah, it's
Arkansas.
Nuts. Yeah, so she dug every day for 3 weeks, and it was on her last day when she found one just lying in the dirt. She thought it may be like a dew-covered spider web, like in the morning, but when she picked it up, she said it felt diamondy.
Oh, of course, diamondy. So it must be small.
Yeah, she had never held a raw diamond before, but no, it actually is good size. It's 2 carats.
Oh,
yeah. So it's got to be cut and everything from there. So probably going to yield a carat and a half or so.
Her.
But she named it the Baloo diamond after her and her partner's last names. And so I'm a little on the fence on this one. I respect the hustle. And it's a great story. I love that she had a hand in finding like her engagement ring, literally. But no shade. But I'm curious, is this a red or a green flag? Like, she knows what she wants and she'll work hard to get it. Green flag. But she spent 3 weeks trying to find a big diamond, so that's materialistic. Red flag. You know? Do you see where I'm going? I'm not sure.
But maybe she's one of those people that likes a good experience.
Yep. The fiance didn't have to come out of pocket for a big diamond. Green flag. But she'll do what she wants without you. Red flag. See?
Yeah.
Just to let you know, this is the way guys think. So if you're ever like, why does he think that way? Should give you some insight.
I see.
We are wired completely differently.
I think it's a good thing because it just goes to show she's independent, so she won't be clingy with you.
If I was doing this, I know, and that's a red or a green flag. If I was doing this, knowing what I know today, like I would do this and I would go on this trip with my wife and I'd make it something we did together. I'd be like, hey, how cool would it be? And then I'd turn it into a contest to see who found the biggest one.
Of course.
But then it'd be like, I think it would be a cool shared experience, even more so. But good on her. I mean, she found it. She's getting the ring she always wanted.
Yay!
And she had a hand in it. So I do like that. Uplifting, WayFM. This is The Wally Show. And I started recently putting screen protectors on my phone and a case. For a while, I tried to have my iPhone without a case.
Really?
And then I dropped it once getting out of my car, and I did that thing where you kick at it, and you try to catch it with your foot, like all of a sudden you're like some circus performer, and I'm going to catch it. And I missed, and it kind of hit the edge, and it cracked a little bit of the side. And so then I'm like, okay, I'm going to start protecting it, because apparently I'm not the only one. They say you drop your cell phone at least 10 times per year.
I could see that.
Yeah, you drop yours. I've seen it.
Yes. It's because I'm trying to handle too much stuff. But I will say, too, with women, it's a little different because we are trying to carry so many things at one time. And they don't provide pockets,
your pockets
in
are
our
too small.
jeans.
Yeah. I was in a bank line one time, and a guy dropped his phone. It like spiraled. There's like 8 of us in this line. We watched it spiral. We watched it face down, and we heard... And we're all like, oh, literally all 8 people in this line at the same time go, oh.
Yeah, that's
Because
bad.
it was broke. And he picks it up. Sure enough, screen busted. And so, and we can't live without our phones. Well, I also came across this thing that said over half of us have had to fish our phone out of a porta potty at a concert.
There is no way.
Wait a minute. You would let your phone go?
Yes, I would. I would say
No.
it's done. It's over. I got to get a new one. There is no way you could bring that back.
Are you-
Absolutely not.
Oh, yeah. I'm figuring out a way.
That is disgusting.
I'm getting a stick or I'm getting
No.
something. Yeah, I'm figuring out a way.
No way.
I'm paying
Nope.
someone to let me hold their feet and dip them down.
Absolutely not. Absolutely
You're at
not.
a concert. You could find somebody you could pay to do that. I'm
for sure, but I don't want to.
you don't want it back.
I can't
No.
de-germify that phone enough
Okay.
to where I feel comfortable.
I disagree. Like, I would do it in a heartbeat.
Disgusting.
So here's what I want to talk about. All right, what was the worst place that you had to fish your phone out of? Like, you're like, okay, I'm going for it. Like, Betty would not go for her phone at a
No,
porta potty.
absolutely
But
not.
like, maybe you've had that, or maybe you just dropped it. I watched some girls drop their phone in a dirty canal in Venice.
Oh.
And you watched it go, and then they froze, and then some guy went in and
What?
tried to get it for him.
Wow.
Yeah. It was, that guy was a hero. I wasn't doing that. I'm not getting into some
but
kind of
porta
weird
potty,
disease.
he's there.
That's true, yeah. All right, so what was that weird place that you had to fish your phone out of and you went for it? 855-33-WAY-FM. That's 855-33-WAY-FM. We'll take your call now. Has that ever happened to you?
Oh, yes. I dropped my cell phone out of my shirt pocket into a litter box on my sick kitties and still using that same phone today.
Oh, yeah, you
that
have
I'm
to.
calling me from.
You're calling me from it now. I think my ear just got an infection.
My husband sterilized it for me. He worked on it really well. He's a tech guy, so
Okay.
I trust his cleaning.
Oh, that's good, because I would have told my wife, yeah, I've got it sterilized for you. I probably would have just wiped it off my jeans and been like, we're good. You inspire me. Uplifting Way FM, it's the Wally Show.
Why, thank you.
Not you. You're fine. But people that listen to this show, sometimes they'll call in and they'll inspire me to creativity by things that they've said. Like the other day, we were talking about, the military alphabet, Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, and I had forgotten some of the things, and people were calling to help out. And this lady called, and this really set me down this path.
So I worked at UPS, and my employees had to call customers with tracking numbers. And one time, one of my girls called, and she said, your tracking number is 1, then zebra, W as in whatever.
I love that.
We all died laughing.
Yeah, so whatever, but that's what started me down this path of what if, like, the military alphabet was written today for Gen Z kids. Like, what would W mean?
Yeah,
And-
it could use an update.
yeah, it would be woke for sure. And so I kind of thought about this, and I thought, okay, I'm going to make a song that has the Gen Z military alphabet, and I'm going to do it like with a K-pop Disney vibe, okay?
There is no loss in this
No.
scenario. This can only be a win.
It really is. So here we go.
E is for egg and left no crumbs. B is for bruh, what I call everyone. C is for cancel, culture so fun. D means Delulu, but you're still my hun. E is for extra, if you know, then you know. F is for flex, just glow up, girl, glow. G is for ghosted because they're so sus. Hot girl summer, you know it's
I'm most proud of you. It's for unalive.
And I give it an F.
For
Fire.
fire. Yes, I love it.
Growing up in poverty has never been easy for children, but with the added challenges of the pandemic, conflict, and natural disasters, families around the world are facing an unprecedented food crisis. Unfortunately, those who are already hungry are now even more desperate. But by sponsoring a child through compassion, you can help provide life-sustaining essentials such as food and clean water. And with your compassionate support, that child can not only survive, but also flourish. You can find out how and choose a child to sponsor when you click on the compassion banner at wayfm.com.
Uplifting Way FM. If it's trending, streaming, or starring, Betty Rock's got it on The Rock Report.
If you were to ask Wally, are you a fan of horror thriller films?
No, absolutely not. I hate that stuff. I close my eyes during previews, movies. I don't get it.
But what if it's one about Jesus? Yes,
I don't even get how that could be.
I know, you heard me right. There is a horror thriller film that's set to release about Jesus.
How?
Okay.
I mean, I know they had Abraham Lincoln Vampire Slayer, which was really bizarre.
That was
I hope
weird.
they're not going to do something that just totally messes the gospel up.
Well, I did some recon on it because
Okay.
I was with you. I was like, how do you make Jesus into this horror thriller? Yeah. So it turns out that the movie is going to be based on the infancy gospel of Thomas. Have you heard of this?
No, I mean, I know there were other gospels that were not added into the Bible.
Right. Well, that's pretty much what this is.
Okay.
So it's the Gospel of Thomas, but it's called the Infancy Gospel of Thomas. Okay. But not by the disciple Thomas. It's a different Thomas. But it's supposed to tell the story of Jesus from the ages of 5 to 12. And the reason that it's not in the Bible is because there are no eyewitness accounts of it. And also, too, there's weird, magical, and out of character situations for Jesus.
I think that's what's important when you talk about the Bible and people doubt its authenticity or its God-inspired nature because it was a series of books all put together by man or whatever. But they look at the Bible, and when they really dissect the Bible, it is one of the most accurate historical documents beyond the faith. And that the same thing, that the people closest to those stories were the ones recounting it. And, and like other world religions, the accounts are from 1,000 years later, kind of thing. And so they're not as accurate.
Right. So you might be wondering, well, what were the weird, magical, and out of character things that Jesus did in the infancy gospel of Thomas?
Yeah, I'd love to know that.
Supposedly in this book, a kid bumps into Jesus and it makes him angry. So he just kills him. Yeah.
So they're saying that so somebody, Thomas, whoever this is, wrote their own version of what they witnessed allegedly of Jesus as a kid.
Yep. And then also his teacher, he didn't like him, so he struck him.
Really?
Yep. And he died.
That is
So it sounds
crazy.
like to me the infancy gospel of Thomas is trying to be more about like Jesus comes into his powers.
Right, he doesn't know.
And he's trying to figure out how to use them, okay?
Right. He's Elsa, basically.
Right. But like I said, it's not included in the Bible because there are no eyewitness accounts, and it doesn't match to the character of Jesus
no,
that
not
we
at
know
all.
that are from actual eyewitnesses. Now, the interesting thing, you might see this at your local theater. Don't fall for it because it's called The Carpenter's Son, and you're going to be like, oh,
Jesus, he's a carpenter.
Also, it's going to star Nicolas Cage as Joseph.
Ooh, that's right.
Jesus' earthly father. Yeah. So don't fall for it.
Yeah.
It won't be a good one. If anything, it sounds creepy.
Yeah, the Irwin brothers aren't doing this one. Like when Kingdom Story does a movie, you go see it. Like
if Kirk Cameron ain't in it, don't do it.
There you go. All right, that's going to do it for your Rock Report. Thank you, Lady Rock. Uplifting Way FM. This is the Wally Show. And one thing that separates adults from kids is kids laugh 400 times a day on average. What do you think the average for adults is, Lady Rock?
If kids are 400, I'll put them at a 100.
15.
Oh,
yeah,
that's bad.
It's a little different for us because we work in a job where we are trying to make people laugh.
That's true.
And on this show, we only average 9.4 laughs. So sorry. But yeah, so kids are just naturally more predisposed to enjoy the
Aw.
world around them.
Well, they
you
don't
know?
have any bills to pay. No collectors trying to get a hold of them.
Well, yeah, like you have a collector trying to get a hold of you.
What?
Yeah, what? Speaking for a friend. But another aspect is that kids have parents who deal with the worries in life, and so kids trust their parents, and so it frees them up to just enjoy life and have joy.
I
That
like
trust thing. See where I'm going now?
Yeah.
If we are to be more childlike, a way that we can have more joy is to have more trust in our Father, kind of thing. And so I'm curious about this because in Matthew 18, verse 3, it says, "Truly I tell you," it's Jesus speaking, "unless you change and become like children, you will never enter the kingdom of heaven." And I don't think he's talking about you have to be this infant mindset and that's how you get to heaven. Because, the only way to heaven is through Jesus. But I think what he's saying is you have all these barriers as adults that keep you from being able to see the simplicity of what I'm telling you and the simplicity of faith, and trust and hope, And
we
so,
overcomplicate it.
Absolutely. And so this is what I want to talk about. With that as the backdrop for this, what are good childlike qualities to have for your faith? Because how many times did we hear this go, as a kid? You need to grow up. You need to grow up. You need to get more serious. You need to do this. Betty tells me it a lot. But growing up sometimes means getting rid of some of the childlike wonder that we have that makes us curious and connects us with things. And so this is what the conversation I want to have with you right now is, what is that good childlike quality to have when it comes to your faith? 855-33-WAY-FM. That's 855-33-WAY-FM. We'll take your thoughts on this right now.
I was looking at what some people on our Facebook page had said. Michelle, she said, the ability to see the best in people first and speak to the good in a person. So I think we're so quick to judge. We're so quick to see the negative and how can these people hurt me? But a kid can just walk up and be like, they're good. They're great.
Little Wally loved everybody.
Aw.
Little Wally saw the best in everybody. You had to prove to little Wally that there was bad in this world because I just didn't believe it. And then I grew up and I got into regular mainstream radio and it jaded me something fierce, to where I have to consciously work hard to give someone the benefit of the doubt first, because I don't, and that's rough. So that's a great one. I'll take that. Thank you, Rock.
Yeah. And then
did someone really write that? Or are you just saying that to me?
Michelle,
Okay.
she said that.
All right.
And then Robin on Facebook, she said, I love a child's ability to simply live in the moment.
Yeah.
She said she was walking with her niece who was very young at the time, and it was a windy fall day, and you could hear the leaves fall on the concrete path that they were on. And her niece said, if you close your eyes and listen to the leaves hit the concrete, it sounds like they're clapping for us.
That's such a kid
and
thing.
she said it did.
Their imaginations are amazing. But that's why the Bible in Matthew 6:34 says, therefore do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will take care of itself. Each day has its own trouble, and it's talking about not worrying about things. We as adults take on all this extra worry that we probably don't need and kids don't have because they trust their parents to take care of it. And that's the lesson in this for all of us, is maybe we should trust God a little bit more with the things that we're trying to control and hang on to, and possibly we might be a little bit happier. What is that childlike quality that we could use more of as adults?
One I think that we should carry into adulthood is forgiveness.
I think forgiveness is so on point because kids, hey, say you're sorry, I'm sorry, and then they can be best friends back on the playground 2 minutes later. But as adults, we tend to hold grudges and we're like, you don't understand.
Yes.
This is bigger, kind of an adult size problem. That's what the Bible's talking about. It's no, these aren't adult side problems. They're just problems. And if you approach them like a kid, you might actually end up a little happier.
My daughter is 5 years old and she's learning this right now as we speak, on forgiving somebody that gave her an insincere apology, and it was her own kindergarten teacher. Her teacher referred to her snack as junk on her first day of school, which completely humiliated her in front of her peers. And now, when we had a meeting with her teacher and the principal, the teacher told her, well, to satisfy you, I'll apologize to your daughter. And she looked at my daughter and told my daughter, I'm sorry. And so my daughter said, it's okay, I forgive you.
Oh, wow.
And so when we got back in our car to come home, my daughter said, Mom, can you play Leanna Crawford's Still Waters?
Oh, the Lord is my
for me because she's learning that she has to forgive somebody, that even if it was an insincere apology, that we don't change who we are and we can keep loving because we reap what we sow. And so I think that my daughter is learning something very powerful here.
Absolutely. And here is the cool thing that we don't see working all the time. It's like your little one could be the person that has an effect on this jaded adult throughout the course of the year. And maybe this woman is going to learn a little something about faith in God from your child. What are those good childlike qualities that we could bring into our adult faith? Amanda, you're up. What do you got?
Do you know who Maya Angelou is?
I do. I bet you didn't see that coming. And I love some of her quotes, but which one are you using specifically for this conversation?
When someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. When God shows you who he is, which he has done all along, his mercy, his grace, his love, his power, you need to believe him and not second guess him.
That is good, because as adults, we're like, oh yeah, I kind of believe you, but keep proving it to me. Prove it to me over and over and over again. And then the first time when it doesn't match up with our perception, then we throw all of it out.
Exactly. And, you know, Taryn Wells has a great line in one of his songs. It's hard truth and unbelievable grace. And that's what God is, and that's all he is it's accountability, love, grace, mercy, all of it, and he never changes.
The Taryn Wells song she's talking about is called Known, and it is a great, great song and a great reminder for all of us about how God sees us.
Well, that's the end, but it doesn't have to be. Check out our Aftercast. It's new stuff you didn't hear in the podcast. Be sure to rate us on iTunes as well as connect with us on social media. Just search Wally Show. And if you'd like to join our Facebook group made exclusively for you potties, the link is in the description of this podcast. Thanks to Colorado Christian University Online for supporting what we do.